So implicit partial differentiation. All right. Okay. The difference between implicit differentiation and ordinary differentiation is like this. The function itself embedded in the what we call the dependent variable embedded inside the function itself. Macam tu. Okay. For example, if you look previously, we will have something like this. fxy equals to xy cube plus cos xy, something like this kan, blah 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 blah. Okay, ni, okay, this type of equation is just using ordinary partial differential equation yang biasa, common punya. Okay, but now for this case, for implicit differentiation, implicit, you will have something like this. Let's say we have x z squared plus exponent yz equals to ln 2z. Like this. So equation ni, kalau you tengok, z tu dia berada dalam persamaan tu juga. Dia bukan separate macam ni separate nama dia. Okay, tapi dalam case implicit, dia berada inside the function. It's located inside this function. We have z here, we have z also here. Okay, so when we have this type of case, we should differentiate this implicitly. Okay, secara implicit. Alright, so let's take a look at the exercise. Guys, be honest, you all dah tengok belum video subtopic 2.4, 3.4 and 3.5? Okay, that's okay. After this class, please watch all the videos. Okay, so let us do exercise 3.4. Okay, actually there are two methods. Okay, actually there are two methods. Let us focus on question number 1 first. Solution. Question number 1. Okay, we have 3x squared plus 5y squared plus 4z squared to the power of, to the power of 3 over 2 equals to 7. Okay, I'll show you two methods. Okay, two methods. The first method, is by using direct implicit differentiation. Direct implicit differentiation. Okay, first method. This is the first method. Direct implicit differentiation. What to do is, okay, the question asks you to find del z over del x. All right, del z over del x and del z over del y. Let us do del z over del x first. Okay, so del z over del x. All right, if you look here, guys, if you look here, this is the equation. Okay, this is the equation. Now, if you notice here, z ni dia berada dalam function tu juga. Okay, it's embedded inside the function itself. So we have to solve this by using implicit differentiation. Okay, so now I'll show you the first method by using direct implicit differentiation. So what to do in order to find del z del x? We differentiate both sides with respect to x. Okay, differentiate both sides with respect to x. Okay, so we will have on the left hand side, okay, ni left hand side LHS, and this is right hand side. RHS. On the left hand side, we have del z over del over del x of this function, 3x squared plus 5y squared plus 4z squared to the power of 3 over 2 equals to del x. Okay, because we have to differentiate both sides, so right hand side pun sama lah. Differentiate 7 with respect to x. Okay, ini kaedah yang asal-asal, direct punya. Okay, nanti saya akan tunjukkan kaedah guna formula pula. Okay, so kita fokus kat sini dulu. Okay, now guys, what happened here is, if we want to find del z over del x, okay, del z over del x, by using this method, direct implicit differentiation ni, okay, both of these are variables. Okay, both x dengan z are variables. You have to bear in mind, letak dalam kepala, z dengan x dua-dua variables. Okay, so in this case, only y as the constant. Okay, z and x are variables, only y yang jadi constant. Okay, now let us proceed. Okay, slowly. So this power 3 over 2, we bring this forward here. So 3 over 2. Okay guys, multiply by, copy everything, 3x squared plus 5y squared plus 4z squared to the power of 3 over 2 minus 1 becomes 1 over 2. Okay, and then you have to multiply the differentiation inside this bracket with respect to x. So the variables are x and z. So we have to differentiate 3x squared. So differentiate 3x squared, we get 6x. And then differentiate 4z squared. Okay, be careful guys. If you want to differentiate z right now, it becomes plus 2 times 4 is 8. Z, for z, we have to put del z over del x like this. Okay, hanya untuk z sahaja kena letak benda ni. This. Kenapa dekat x tak ada? Sebab dekat x, okay, sekejap Kenapa dekat x tak ada? Sebab konsep dia, kalau differentiate x, dia jadi del x over del x, isn't it? So del x over del x ni satu lah. That's why dia tak perlu ada. Okay. However, when we want to differentiate z, dia kena ada del z over del x tu. That's why kena ada dekat belakang ni. Understand guys? Before I proceed, understand this part?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I can erase this. Okay, now close the bracket, settle now. Okay, equals to, we want to differentiate the right hand side, sebelah kanan pula with respect to x. Now, differentiate 7 with respect to x. Of course, we know that when we differentiate constant, we get what? Differentiate constant, dapat apa?
0.
Yes, you got 0. So you just solve this term. Okay, so 0 divides by everything here. 0, ni kan darab kan? Okay, so divides by everything. You can have this one, multiplication, 6x. Okay, 6x plus 8z del z over del x equals to 0, guys. So what happened here is, okay, so del z over del x equals to negative 6x over 8z. Okay, so we will have negative 3x over 4z. This is the answer. Okay, negative 3x over 4z. Alright, so now this is the yang awal-awal first time ni adalah direct method lah, direct method. Let's say second method, I will show you the same question. Okay, second method. Okay, second method is much easier. So better kalau you tak faham method pertama tadi, make sure you guna method kedua untuk jawab soalan final exam nanti. Okay, second method is also sometimes called as alternative method. Okay, salin penting ni. Okay, sebab sometimes saya suka saja student saya guna kaedah second method ni sebab it's much easier compared to the first method. But if you already expert, then you can use the first method, doesn't matter. Okay, so second method ni guys, we will have let's say soalan tu suruh cari del z over del x. The formula is negative f subscript x divides by f subscript z. Dia terbalik. Okay, kalau x duduk bawah, dia jadi x duduk atas. Okay, this is the first formula for del z over del x, ataupun or if the question asks you to find del z over del y, then the formula becomes negative, differentiate f partially with respect to y divides by fz. Okay, dia terbalik macam tu lah. Kalau y tu duduk bawah, denominator it becomes numerator up here. Okay, and don't forget the negative sign. Wajib ada untuk alternative method ni. Ini pun sama, wajib ada. It's compulsory. You have to put negative. Alright, and then now this is the second formula lah for del z del y. Okay, let us solve this question again. The same question. Find. Or before that. Okay, the same question. Okay, first of all, in order to solve this by using the second method, okay, ini penting sebab kaedah ni lebih mudah. So saya nak semua student saya expert benda ni. Okay, so first step, you have to let f, capital F x, y, z. Okay, capital F, X, Y, Z. Kenapa X, Y, Z? Sebab dalam ni ada ketiga-tiga variables tu, X, Y, Z. Okay, so we F, X, Y, Z equals to 3x squared plus 5y squared plus 4z squared to the power of 3 over 2. And then minus 7, equate this with 0. Okay guys, this first step, if you answer like this, then you will get 1 mark in final exam. Okay, ini you jawab macam ni je pun you dah dapat 1 mark lah. 1 marks. Okay, after that guys, what you should do now is, okay, the question asks you to find del z over del x. So we know that using the second method, by using this formula, alternative method ni, we need to find fx and fz. Okay, so let us find fx. Okay, when we find fx, means x is the variable. Okay, dia akan jadi sama macam last week lecture. Okay, ordinary partial derivative. Okay, partial derivative yang biasa. So x jadi variable, of course y and z becomes constants. That's why dia lebih mudah nak differentiate bila guna kaedah ni, sebab you hanya fokus pada satu sahaja. Kalau tadi, the first method, you have to focus to 2 variables, z dengan x. Ni, z dengan x jadi variables. However, for this method, only 1 variable. Okay, so you can just differentiate this easily. Okay guys, 3 over 2 sama juga macam tadi, bawa ke depan. Alright, 3 over 2, and I copy everything, 3x squared plus 5y squared plus 4z squared to the power of 3 over 2 minus 1 becomes 1 over 2. Okay, multiply by, okay, so right now, since x only the variable, we just differentiate this with respect to x only. Okay, no need for you to differentiate z. Sebab kita guna second method sekarang ni. Second method dia lebih mudah sebab hanya fokus pada only 1 variable. So differentiate 3x squared, we will get
6x.
Yes, 6x. Okay, 6x. And then differentiate negative 7, of course not 0, right? So we stop here. That's it. Okay. And then next, we need to find fy. Bila fy, konsep dia sama je guys, the same concept. Y means y variable. Okay, y is the variable. And of course in this case, x and z becomes, fy pula. Saya nak cari del z, del x tadi kan. Kita satu-satu lah. Kita cari fz. Sebab saya nak cari fx over fz kan. Okay, fz, so right now z is the variable. Kita tengok yang kat bawah ni apa benda huruf dia. So Z variable, so what happened? X and Y becomes constants. Okay, so now let us differentiate this. Okay, let us differentiate this function with respect to Z now. Okay, so with respect to Z, again this power we bring to the front, jadi 3 over 2. And then copy everything, 3x squared plus 5y squared plus 4z squared to the power of 1 over 2. And then now multiply with, sekarang ni kita differentiate terhadap z kan? So we differentiate 4z squared only. Okay, sekarang ni bila kita nak cari fz, kita differentiate terhadap z sahaja. So we will have 8z. Stop. Just like that. Dah tak perlu ada del z del x. Kalau tadi you kena ada del z del x kan, tapi dalam kes ni tak perlu. Don't need. Okay, so now we know that del z, thus we know that del z over del x is equivalent to negative fx over fz, thus equals to negative. Yang ni kalau you perhatikan dia sama kan atas ni, betul tak? This one. You notice that? It's just the same. Just the same. Isn't it? Sama kan? So we just need this and this. Okay, so don't forget put negative sign here because the formula should have negative in the front. Then we just copy 6x divides by 8z. So finally we have negative 3x over 4z. Okay, so this by using the second method. It's much easier. Okay, now let's say we look at the second question. We have ln. Okay, ln. So del z del y you boleh proceed lah Okay, kita buat soalan nombor 2 ni. Saya nak buat del z del y untuk soalan nombor 2. Question number 2, we solve del z del y by using the second method lah. Senang, you ingat satu method je lah guys. Supaya you tak confused. Okay, question number 2. Number 2. Let's say we find del z del y. Okay, so by using the second method, second method using formula del z del y equals to negative fy.
Fy over fz.
That's good. Fy over fz. Okay, well done. So we have this. Okay, so first of all, we need to find fy. Okay, find fy. Thus, what is the variable now for fy?
Y.
Yes, y is the variable. Okay, and then x and z becomes the constant. Okay, so fy. Differentiate ln. Okay, ingat lagi tak differentiate ln? Macam mana? So 1 over everything, isn't it? Ini contoh lah, contoh.
Yes.
Okay, let us recall for those who already forgot about differentiating ln. Okay, kalau you ada y equals to 1 over 3x. Sorry, not like this. Equals to ln 3x. Macam ni, contoh. So you nak cari differentiation, y prime, you have to 1 over 3x, isn't it? 1 over everything inside the bracket lah. Multiply by, differentiate inside the bracket. Yes, so multiply by 3, isn't it? So that's how we differentiate ln. Okay, now let us focus here. This is inside our bracket. Semua sekali ni, this is the bracket. Ni sama macam status 3x tadi. So 1 over the whole thing, 4y squared minus 3x plus 2z cubed. Okay, multiply by
y.
Yes, differentiate y, we will have 8y. Okay, 8y. Oh, before that guys, I forgot the first step. To use the second method ni, you kena ada f x y z equals to ln 4y squared minus 3x plus 2z cubed minus tutup kurungan minus 5x equals to 0. Okay, this is the first step. Don't forget. Okay. Now, okay, multiply by 8y. How about this? Negative 5x. differentiate negative 5x with respect to y?
0.
Zero.
Yeah, 0. Well done. We get 0. So we just have this. So stop. Sampai situ je. Sebab differentiate negative 5x with respect to y, we get 0 because x is just a constant. Okay, next we need to find the fz. Okay, differentiate with respect to z. Again, I would like to remind you, right now z is the variable. Okay, and then x and y becomes the constants. Okay, so now let us differentiate this ln. So again, 1 over everything. Okay, guys, 1 over everything. 4y squared minus 3x plus 2z cubed. Okay, now multiply by what? Differentiate what right now?
Z.
Yes, we need to differentiate z. Okay, good. We need to differentiate this. 2z cubed ni. Yang atas ni, yang saya highlight warna green ni. Okay. 2z cubed. Differentiate with respect to z, we will get?
6z square.
Yes, 6z squared. Okay, well done. And then how about 5x? Differentiate with respect to z.
0.
0 again. Okay, 0 again. So we just finish here. Okay, now this, what happened, guys? Del z over del y is equivalent to negative fy over fz. So we have negative, open the bracket, 8y over 4x, 4x pula, 4y squared minus 3x plus 2z cubed. Okay, this is your fy, divides by 6z squared over 4y squared minus 3x plus 2z cubed. Okay, as we know that the value here, the denominator here and here can be cancelled because all the variables are the same. Then we have equals to negative 8y over 6z squared. So we can simplify this as 4y over 3z squared. Okay, this is del z over del y. Understand?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, now let us proceed to question number 3. Question number 3. Sorry. Question number 3, we have this. Again, I would like to suggest you to use the second method, okay, the alternative method. Sebab, okay, kalau you guna the first method tu guys, you kena product rule dalam product rule tau. Sebab the first method, z ni variable, kalau you guna first method lah, z ni variable, yang ini pun, x ni pun variable. So, ini kena guna product rule, dalam ni pun kena guna product rule. Okay, so it's a bit complicated. That's why I always suggest my student to use the second method. It's much easier. Okay, now let us solve this question. Question 3. Okay, use the second method. First, we let fxyz equals to x squared plus z cos xyz minus 3. Okay, bring this to the left hand side. Bawa yang ni, yang kat belakang ni ke dalam, ke sebelah kiri, left hand side. Then we have to equate this with 0. Okay, so this is our function now. Alright. Let us find del z over del x. Okay, del z over del x equals to what? The formula?
Negative fx over fz.
Yes, negative fx over fz. Okay, so let us find the fx first. Fx, differentiate with respect to x. Okay, so since we are differentiating with respect to x, of course, x is the variable, and then y and z becomes the constants. Okay, so we will have differentiate x squared, we will get 2x.
Good.
Okay, and then now we want to differentiate this. Z cos XYZ with respect to X. Do we need to use product rule now? No need. Yes, no need. The answer is no need because Z is constant. Z is constant. Only X the variable. So no need for you to use product rule. That's the benefit of using the second method. Ini kelebihan guna kaedah alternatif ni. Sebab you hanya fokus pada satu variable sahaja. Kalau kaedah yang asal, kaedah yang first method, direct method tu, you kena guna product rule nak selesaikan Z cos XYZ ni. Okay, but in this case, only X variable, so no need for you to use product rule. So directly, the constant here are Y and Z. Okay, Z here, Y and Z are the constant. So we bring this constant to the front. We bring YZ to the front here, isn't it? Okay, so kita bawa ke depan, differentiate cos we get negative. Okay, so we bring YZ multiplied by Z becomes negative YZ squared. Differentiate cos we get negative sign. So sin XYZ just maintain lah. Okay, understand this step?
Yes.
Okay, good. And then differentiate negative 3 we get 0. So stop here. Okay, stop right there. Okay, now let us find FZ. FZ. Okay, so find FZ. Wait, saya nak padam dulu yang ni. This one. Okay. So, bila find FZ, okay guys. Z is the variable. And then X and Y are constants. Okay, look at this function. Okay, now differentiate X squared with respect to Z. We will get
0.
0. Yes, we will get 0. Okay, good. Right now, guys, what happened here? When we want to differentiate with respect to Z, we have Z here, we also have Z here. So what you should do is, you need to use the product rule. Okay, use product rule. Okay, good. Use product rule. Okay, so ini adalah you all punya U, cos XYZ becomes you all punya V lah. So by using the product rule, we have U V prime plus V U prime. Okay, so let us do this. U V prime, so U is Z. Z, open the bracket, multiply by V prime. So V is cos XYZ. So nak bawa apa ke depan? What are the constants now?
X and Y.
X and Y, yes. So bawa constant ni ke depan. So we bring this forward here, then we will get differentiate cos, of course we get negative. So negative XY sine XYZ. Okay, so settle. So this is UV prime. UV prime. Okay, plus VU prime. So plus V is cos XYZ. Okay, this is your V, and then differentiate, multiply by U prime. Differentiate Z. We will get
1.
1. Okay, we will get 1. So therefore, we will have Fz equals to negative XYZ sine XYZ plus cos XYZ. Okay, so that's it. Therefore, we have del Z over del X equals to negative Fx over Fz. Don't forget the negative. Sebab kalau dalam final exam, kalau tertinggal negatif ni, habis jawapan salah lah. Okay? So don't forget this negative. We have negative Fx is 2x minus yz squared sine xyz over Fz is negative xyz sine xyz plus cos xyz. Okay, so you can just leave your answer like this, or you can multiply with negative lah. Okay, right, so that's the answer. Okay guys, and be careful, if you want to multiply by negative, it's either you multiply negative to the numerator or denominator, but you cannot multiply both negative too. Salah satu je. Kalau you decide you nak darab dekat bahagian atas, so your answer will be like this lah. So you can have your answer like this, negative 2x plus yz squared sin xyz over negative xyz ni maintain lagi, sin xyz plus cos xyz. Kenapa saya sebut ni? Sebab dalam final exam every time mesti ada student yang salah darab negatif tu. Okay, so you decide salah satu je. Kalau you nak darab negatif dekat denominator, dekat pembawah, you darab kat bawah saja, atas maintain. Tapi dalam kes saya ni, saya suka darab dekat atas. So bawah yang maintain. Understand guys what I mean?
Understand?
Okay, good. So we settled already question number 3. Del Z del Y, I think you can find on your own lah. Del Z del Y Okay, satu lagi soalan. Question number... Okay, let's take a look at the tutorial lah. Tengok soalan tutorial pak. Yang ni senang je guys. Yang question number find the slope ni. This one, it should be easy. Because you just let fx, y, z equals to x squared plus y squared plus z squared minus 9 over 25. So, of course, very easy lah. Nak differentiate dia, saya tak tunjuk lah. Question number 4 ni Very simple. So, kita tengok soalan tutorial. Cari soalan tutorial susah sikit. One more question before I go to relative extrema. Ni chain rule. Saya nak cari implicit. Okay. Let's say we do question number 18. Okay, question number 18 ni. Implicit differentiation. Ni soalan tutorial One last question before I proceed to relative extrema. Okay, tutorial 3. Tutorial chapter 3. Question number 18. Okay, so now we let f, x, y, and z equals to ln xy plus cos xy plus x squared z minus x over y plus 1 like this. Okay, that's the first step. Second step, okay, the question asks you to find del z del y. Okay, so as we know that del z del y, by using the second method, we will have negative fy divided by fz. Okay, so let us find fy. Again, differentiate f x y z with respect to y. Of course, y is the variable and x and z are the constants lah. Okay, so let us differentiate this ln xy with respect to y. We will get 1 over xy multiplied by what, guys? Differentiate xy with respect to y. X, okay, good. Multiply by x. Okay, settle. Plus differentiate cos xy with respect to y. We will get
negative sin x.
Negative sin x. What's the constant now? Where should we bring this constant?
Negative x sin x1.
Okay, yes, good. We will have negative, we will have minus negative x sin xy because x is the constant. So we should bring the constant to the front. Okay, and then now, what happened here? X squared z differentiate with respect to y. We will get
0.
0, yes, good. We will get 0. Well done. Okay, 0. So plus 0. Saya tulis lah. Okay, plus 0. Okay, now differentiate negative x over y plus 1 with respect to y. We will have, dia ibarat macam ni lah. Okay, ubah. Kalau you confuse dengan pecahan, you tukar bentuk dia, you change into this form. X y plus 1 to the power of negative 1. Macam mana nak differentiate ni with respect to y? We will have
Negative x.
negatif ni saya maintain sebab ni ada negatif kan. Okay, negatif ni saya maintain. So I open the bracket. Okay, so negative x y plus 1 to the power of negative 2 multiply by
1.
1. Because differentiate y we get 1. So like this. Okay, so we will have this can be cancelled, x and x. Of course, we will get 1 over y minus x sine xy. And then minus minus becomes plus x over y plus 1 square like this. Right? Ni saya buat turun ke bawah. Faham kan? Understand this? Negative 2 ni saya buat turun jadi positif lah. Understand this step, guys?
Yes.
Okay, next. We should find what? Dah settle Fy. So, kena cari?
Fz.
Yes, Fz. So, differentiate with respect to Z. Now, differentiate with respect to Z. What happened to this term? Ln xy ni differentiate terhadap Z dapat apa?
0.
Yes, we will get 0 because x and y are just constants. Okay, are just constant, so we will get 0. How about this? Cos xy, we differentiate with respect to z, we will get
0.
0.
also 0. Yes, good, well done. We also get 0. How about this? X squared z, differentiate with respect to z.
X squared.
X squared, right? We will get x squared, yes. Okay, x squared. Okay, now the last term. X over y plus 1, differentiate with respect to z.
0.
0, yes, we will get 0 again. So it's very simple. Therefore, del z over del y equals to negative fy over fz. So we will have negative fy mana tadi? Tu. So negative 1 over y minus x sine xy plus x over y plus 1 squared over x squared, like that. Okay, so that's it, that's the answer lah. You can simplify this actually. Okay, you can simplify this. It's up to you lah nak simplify or just leave your answer like this. Doesn't matter. Okay, so understand already about the implicit differentiation, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us proceed to the subtopic 3.5, relative extrema. Okay, relative extrema, okay guys, is very, very important topic in final exam. Please alert this. Okay, in final exam, saya nak highlight kuning ni sekarang ni, relative extrema of functions of two variables, this topic. Okay, normally in final exam, normally guys, in final exam, finally pula. In final exam, this type of question consists of at least 15 marks. 15 marks ni banyak Satu soalan je. Soalan subtopic 3.5 ni, only one question consists of 15 marks. Therefore, these topics are very important in your final exam. So make sure you understand the steps. Okay, I will explain to you the details step by step how to solve or how to find the extrema of functions of two variables. Okay, so let us proceed. Salin ni guys, nota ni. Saya akan bagi step by step dia. Okay, so topic 3.5, extrema of functions of two variables. Functions of two variables. Very important. Every semester, satu soalan dalam final tak pernah miss. Mesti wajib keluar ni topik ni. Markah dia sangatlah banyak. Minimum 15 marks. Okay, so make sure you score this topic in final exam. You score this question. Okay, first of all, first step. Okay, first step, what you should do in order to find the relative extrema. Okay, salin sebiji-sebiji ni. First step, we need to find the critical points. The critical points. Okay, find the critical points means coordinate A and B. Of course, A and B are coordinate X dengan Y lah. Okay, some question, if you just solve a very simple questions, then there are only one critical point. However, if the equations are complicated, okay, involving the power of 3, power of 4, sometimes we have more than one critical point. Okay, understand? Okay, saya repeat dalam bahasa Melayu je. Kalau soalan tu equation dia simple, dia hanya akan ada satu saja critical point. Tapi kalau equation tu complicated, misal kata dia ada x kuasa 3, ada y kuasa 4, ada possibility there are more than one critical point. Maksudnya ada lebih daripada satu critical point. So you kena cari ke semua critical point tu. And usually guys, in final exam, we will have 3 critical points. Ada 3 koordinat yang you kena cari. Normally, saya tak katalah semester ni 3 critical point juga. It can be 4. Okay, it can be 2. It depends on the equations given lah. It depends on your fxy. Okay, so now how do we find critical points? Okay, so first step, you need to differentiate your f with respect to x. Okay, differentiate your f with respect to x and then equate this with 0. You kena samakan dia dengan 0. So from here, this is your first equation. Equation 1. Okay. After that, you need to differentiate your function f with respect to y. And again, equate this with 0. So that from here, okay guys, so that from here, you can have the second equation. Okay. So how do we find critical point? Is by solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Actually, kalau you tanya saya, every semester student tanya saya, kat mana step paling penting dalam subtopic 3.5 is the first step. Why? Kenapa? First step ni, kalau you salah critical point, habis markah bawah salah. Dia drag habis. Sesia je. Okay? That's why it's very crucial for you to get the correct critical points. Sebab critical points ni nanti kita akan substitute at the rest of the steps lah. Kita kena gantikan nilai-nilai A dengan B ni dalam X dengan Y seterusnya nanti. So, it's very important for you to know how to solve simultaneous equation. Okay, so that's the first step. Cari critical points. Ni nama dia cari critical points. Okay, second step. Second step, what you should do is, okay, we need to find, okay, you can differentiate twice. We need to find fxx, and then find fxy, and then find fyy. Okay, second order derivative. Maksudnya you kena differentiate 2 kali lah. Berdasarkan apa yang you dapat from the first step tadi, fx dengan fy atas tadi tu, you kena differentiate again with respect to x and then differentiate with respect to y and then you need to differentiate fy with respect to y again. Okay, that's the second step. And the third step, okay, third step, ini part conclusion lah. Third step ni ialah, okay, by using the second derivative test. Nama dia the second derivative test. The second derivative test. Derivative test. Okay, ni pun penting ni, second derivative test ni. Dan ini part conclusion lah. Second derivative test is denoted as D. Okay, D is equals to, yang tadi you all dapat ni fxx, fxy dan fyy ni, formula dia ialah you kena substitute dalam D, second derivative test. We have fxx multiply with fyy minus fxy squared. Maksudnya you kena substitute nilai critical point tadi ni dalam you punya formula D ni, formula second derivative test. Fxx, Okay, fxx multiplied by fyy minus fxy squared. Okay, now we come up with the conclusion. There are 4 conclusions based on the values of d. Okay, based on the values of d. Ni d ni. Based on this value. Bila you dah calculate tu, okay, yang pertama, the first conclusion, if you get d greater than 0 or d positive number, okay, you need to look at your fxx. Okay, so bila you dapat D, you dah kira-kira tiba-tiba dapat D positif. So you kena tengok, refer balik your fxx. If your fxx is also positive, okay, if your fxx also positive, then the conclusion is relative minimum. Okay, relative minimum conclusion dia. Okay, number 2. Again, you got D positive. Okay, so you kena tengok balik your fxx. Bila you tengok your fxx, oh you dapat negatif, you dapat nombor less than 0. Okay, so the conclusion for this case is relative maximum. Alright, and then number 3. Okay, if you calculate your D, you get value negative, less than 0. Then no need for you to refer to fxx. Kalau dalam case D negative, directly you know that the conclusion is saddle point. Okay, saddle point. Okay, and then number 4. Okay guys, bila you kira-kira tiba-tiba you dapat equals to 0, D equals to 0. So this is actually no conclusion. No conclusion. Okay. And then kalau you tanya saya, dalam final exam dia bagi ke conclusion ni? No, you have to memorize this. You can hafal. Okay. Alright, so let's do one question. Exercise 3.5. Okay, this is the illustration figure of relative maximum. Kemuncak lah. Dia biasanya kalau relative maximum ni dia puncak lah. Saddle point is the point in between. Okay, saddle point ni adalah titik in between lah antara dua puncak. We call it as saddle point. And this point is called as relative minimum. Okay. Don't worry, kita tak suruh you lukis. Kita cuma suruh you buat conclusion je based on calculation. Okay, so jom kita tengok. Let's look at the exercise 3.5. Okay, so now guys, you all nak saya solve question mana ni? Which question you want me to solve?
Question 3.
Question 3. Okay, I will solve question number 3 because we have x to the power of 4, right? So very good choice. Okay, let us do question number 3. Okay, exercise 3.3, question number 3.3 pula, 3.5. Question number 3. Okay. So we have, okay, first step. First step, you need to find the critical points. Okay, first step, you kena cari critical points. So cara cari critical points adalah solution. Okay, saya buat juga lah first step supaya nanti you faham. Okay, first step, find the critical points. Okay, so we need to differentiate fx. Okay, differentiate with respect to x. So x is the variable and y is the constant. So differentiate for xy with respect to x, we will get?
4y.
Yes, 4y. Okay, and then differentiate negative x to the power of 4. We will get?
4x.
4x cubed.
4x cubed. Yes, 4x cubed. How about this? Differentiate y to the power of 4 with respect to x.
0.
0, yes, 0. Okay, so we get 0. So equate this with 0. Ni yang saya cakap tadi tu, equate with 0. Nampak tak? Ni, step pertama cari fx dan samakan dia dengan 0. Okay, so this is your first step. Alright, this is your first equation. Equation number 1. Equation 1. Okay, so the second equation, you have to differentiate your function with respect to y. Okay, so differentiate this with respect to y. What happened? Y becomes the variable and x becomes the constant. So we will get
F4x.
yes, 4x. Okay, and then after that we differentiate x to the power of 4 with respect to y. We will get
0.
0. Yes, very good. And differentiate y to the power of 4. We will get
4y.
4y cubed. Yes. Equate this with 0. Okay, good. So this is your second equation. Equation number 2. Okay, now we need to solve this. Okay, let's say I take this, we solve this simultaneously. Solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Solve simultaneous equation ni dia ada macam-macam cara so it's up to you lah nak buat cara macam mana sekalipun. Okay, let's say now I consider from the first equation. Okay, from equation 1, I have 4y minus 4x cubed equals to 0. So if I put this 4y equals to 4x cubed, okay, so we know that y equals to x cubed. All right, so what happened now? I substitute y equals to x cubed in the second equation, in equation 2. Okay, in the second equation here. Ni, second equation ni. So, saya akan gantikan y dengan x cubed. So, we will have 4x minus 4y cubed. So, 4y substitute dengan x cubed to the power of 3 lah. Okay, because we have 4y cubed. Y is x cubed. So, this is equals to 0. Understand this step?
Yes.
Okay. Now we will have, we will have 4x minus 4x to the power of 9 equals to 0. So what happened? We can factor this out. We can factor 4x. We have 1 minus x to the power of 8 to the power equals to 0. So of course from here we have 4x equals to 0, therefore x equals to 0, and we also have 1 minus x to the power of 8 equals to 0, so x to the power of 8 equals to 1. Okay guys, if you use your calculator, x equals to 1, isn't it? Kalau you pakai calculator kan, kalau let's say 1 to the power of 8, you got 1, isn't it? Kalau negative 1 to the power of 8, kalau if negative 1 to the power of 8, did you get 0? Did you get 1? Cuba tekan calculator. Negative 1 to the power of 8. You dapat 1 tak?
1.
Yes, equals to 1. Therefore, x also can be negative 1. Okay, so you all ada 3 coordinates ni guys. Understand? X equals to 0. And then x equals to 1 and s also equals to negative 1. Sebab negative 1 to the power of 8 also equals to 1, equivalent to 1. Okay, so as we know, since y equals to apa tadi? Y equals to x cubed. Thus, when x equals to 0, we will have y also equals to 0. Y also equals to 0. So the first coordinate critical point is 0, 0. Okay, and then when x equals to 1, y also, y 1 kuasa 3, so 1 jugalah. So equals to 1, 1. Okay, that's the coordinate second critical point. And the third critical point, when x equals to negative 1, what happened? Y equals to negative 1 cubed. We also have negative 1, isn't it? Power dia ganjil, power dia odd. Negative 1 to the power of 3. So from here we have -1 and -1. Understand these steps?
Yes.
Okay. Now what happened guys? Next step. Ini baru first step. Baru first step. Second step what you should do is you need to find fxx. Fxx. So nak cari fxx, look at the end of this. Ni maksudnya you kena differentiate fx lagi sekali terhadap x. So just now fx kita adalah, kita refer yang ni. Okay, kita refer yang fx ni. Ni. You jangan ambil yang equation asal ambil yang kedua ni. Copy. Okay, we know that fx equals to 4y minus 4x cubed. Okay, so differentiate again with respect to x because this is called as higher order, second order derivative. Cari fxx. So you dapat apa ni? Differentiate dari sekali terhadap x.
Negative 12x squared.
Yes, we will get negative 12x squared. Okay, and then cari fxy. Differentiate again now with respect to y. What happened? You will get
Negative 12 whole squared.
bukan fxy. Fxy maksudnya you kena refer pada fx kan? Refer pada yang ni. So you will get? Yes, you will get 4. Yes, good. You will get 4. So be careful guys. Be careful. Betul-betul tengok soalan tu. Dia nak apa? Kalau fxy, you kena refer fx lah. Kalau fyy, fyy barulah you refer pada fy. You ambil fy tadi. Ni. Kalau fyy baru you ambil yang ni. Copy. Ni. fy. Okay, kita buat ke bawah sikit lah. fy baru you tengok fyy. So dalam fyy ni kita differentiate with respect to y again. So kita refer fy, of course we will get what?
Fy squared.
Yes, negative 12y squared. Okay, saya saja ambil balik yang fx dengan fy ni supaya you all tak confused. So basically kalau you dalam final exam you tak payahlah tulis balik sekali. So ni boleh padam lah. And then this one pun boleh padam lah sebab ni daripada atas tadi kan. Okay, tak padam pula. Mana? Okay, so we have this fyy equals to this. Okay, so third step. Third step, we need to find the d. D is fxx multiplied by fyy minus fxy squared. Okay, so what you should have here is fxx is negative 12x squared. You darabkan dengan negative, darab fyy. Fyy is negative 12y squared minus fxy squared. So minus 4 squared. So kalau you expand this one, 144x squared y squared minus 16. Isn't it? Okay, so now part conclusion tu tadi. Okay guys, part conclusion tu. Okay, let us build table. Nak senang kita buat table lah supaya senang nampak So sebab you ada 3 titik critical tadi tu, you kena test satu-satu lah. 1, 2, 3 and this is the conclusion. Kalau you tak nak buat table pun tak apa, it's okay. Tapi jangan tertinggal critical point pula So critical point, okay, let's say 1, 2, 3. Did you have calculator with you guys? Take out your calculator. Okay, the first column is critical points. So kita ada 3 tadi critical points kan? 0, 0, 1, 1 and negative 1, negative 1. So 0, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 1 and 1 and negative 1, negative 1. Okay. So second column should be the values of D. third column is the value of fxx, and then the last column should be the conclusion. Okay, so for the first critical point, 0, 0, test 0, 0, what's the value of D for 0, 0?
Negative 16.
Negative 16. Okay, when D is negative 16, means number D is less than 0, right? So do we need to look at fxx? Perlu tak tengok fxx? No need. So you just dash like this. No need for you to look at fxx. Sebab kalau ikutkan conclusion kita tadi, ni, kalau D less than 0, tak perlu tengok fxx dah. Automatically your result, your conclusion will be saddle point. So you just put saddle point. At 0, 0, you will have saddle point. So saddle point, the answer is saddle point. Okay, next. Substitute X dengan Y ni dengan 1, 1, positive 1, 1. 144 minus 16. Calculate your D now. What should you get?
128.
100 and
28.
28. Okay, now D dia positif kan? So bila positif kena cari fxx. So fxx kalau you substitute positive 1 dalam ni, tadi kan coordinate 1, 1 kan kita test. So negative 12 times 1 should be negative 12. So bila negative 12, is it positive or negative fxx? Negative kan? So apa conclusion dia? D positif, fxx negatif. Apa conclusion dia?
Relative maximum.
Relative maximum. Okay, well done. Very good. Relative maximum. Because D positive and fxx negative becomes relative maximum. Okay, next, substitute negative 1 and negative 1 inside this. We will get D equals to?
128.
Again 128 because ada square kan. So jadi positif balik sama lah. Okay, what happened to fxx? Gantikan negative 1 squared becomes positive. Positive times negative becomes negative. So again negative 12. So we will get again the same conclusion. Relative maximum. Betul ke jawapan ni? Sekejap Question number 3. Relative maximum. Relative maximum. Okay, yes. Okay. So understand the steps, guys.
Yes.
Okay. Now, kita tengok soalan tutorial lah satu sempat kot setengah jam lagi ni. Satu soalan tutorial. Tutorial. Kita tengok soalan relative extrema. Ni senang kot. Question number 22, no 23, 20. Let us do question number 27. This question. Okay, dia ada kuasa 3 lagi ni. Tutorial. Chapter 3. Question number 27. Okay. So question number 27. First solution. Saya terus straight away find the solution. Okay, differentiate with respect to x, we will get 3x squared minus 3y equals to 0. And then find fy, we will have 3y squared minus 3x equals to 0. So this is your first equation. And then this is your second equation. Okay, so from equation 1, we have 3x squared minus 3y equals to 0. So we will have 3x squared equals to 3y. Therefore, we know that y equals to x squared. Okay, so substitute y equals to x squared into we will have 3y squared. So 3x squared minus 3x equals to 0. So we will have 3x to the power of 4 minus 3x equals to 0. Therefore, 3x x cubed minus 1 equals to 0. So 3x equals to 0 and then x cubed equals to 1. So x equals to
1.
1. Okay, can x equals to negative 1?
No.
No.
No, okay, because negative 1 to the power of 3 becomes negative 1. So you cannot have negative 1. So only 1. Okay, x equals to 1. And then this one, x equals to 0. So there is only two critical points. All right. So two critical points. So let us substitute when x equals to 0. We have y also 0. So therefore, the first critical point is 0, 0. And then when x equals to 1, we will have y equals to 1 cube. So 1 cube equals to 1. So we will have 1, 1. Okay, next we need to find fxx. Find fxx, kita differentiate lagi sekali. fxx, ni 3x squared, so we will get 6x. Cari fxy, differentiate 3y, kita akan dapat negative 3. So put negative 3 and then cari fyy. Fyy ni kena refer pada apa? We should refer to? Yes, fy. So differentiate this with respect to y. Again, so we will get 6y. Okay, so now calculate your d. We have fxx multiplied by fyy minus fxy squared. So we will have 6x multiplied by 6y minus negative 3 squared. So we will have 36xy minus 9. This is your d. So jom kita ada dua je lah. Critical point tadi. Okay, let's say saya tak tulis dalam bentuk table. Misalkan saya tak tulis dalam bentuk table, so we will just put like this. We test 0, 0. So we calculate the d. 36 times 0 times 0, times 0 times 0. Macam tu, minus 9. So we will get negative 9. So d, since d less than 0, what's the conclusion?
Saddle point.
Yes, saddle point. Saddle point. Okay, and then test. The second critical point is 1, 1. So 1, 1. We calculate the d equals to 36 times 1 times 1 minus 9. 36 minus 9, we will get?
37.
27. Okay. So now, d is greater than 0. We should look at fxx. So fxx in this case, 6x. Substitute 6 times 1. Okay, 6 times 1. So we get 6, also greater than 0. So what happened? What's the conclusion?
Relative minimum.
Minimum, yes. So fxx also greater than 0. Thus, the answer is relative minimum. Okay, understand, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so right, I think that's all for today. Okay, hari Jumaat ni you all ada quiz sama juga, guys, the same pattern like previous quiz. We will start on Friday. Friday at 9. Okay, quiz 3. Quiz 3 Friday at 9 a.m. until Saturday 9 a.m. lah. Open quiz in Kalam. Multiple choice question, chapter 3. Okay, the syllabus will be on chapter 3. So you can do the rest of the questions, and if you have any problem, you can WhatsApp me personally. Okay? Understand, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. For the
Yes.
Muslim, we finish with Tasbih, Kafara, and Surah Al-Asr.